Yeah, happy to. First, I'll just say it's a real pleasure to be here in Kansas City. As part of this thank you tour, we're going out to let everybody know how much we appreciate their support and that we're going to Jefferson City to do what we promised that we were going to do. We're going to shake up Jefferson City, we're going to put an end to politics as usual, we're going to fight for people. One of the real strong commitments that we had during the campaign that we're demonstrating before the inauguration and that we'll keep every single day is that we're going to be supporting our law enforcement officers. We need to make sure that all of our law enforcement officers, our first responders, our firefighters, that they know that they've got a governor who has their back. One of the other things that we talked about today was how important it is that we have leaders of courage and compassion. We recognize that safety and security is something that we have to build, and we build that on a bedrock of understanding. We have to reach out and we have to build relationships with people. We need to reach out and recognize that everyone in the state of Missouri, especially our young people, need educational and economic opportunity. And to your question, to your questions specifically, first of all, I've talked with all of our officers here, and we're going to maintain state control over the Kansas City Police Department. And that's because that's what our officers want. They want to have a strong governor who has their back, who's going to support them, and that's what I'm going to do. You know, these men just said that. You know what? I can tell you, I've talked with our law enforcement officers, and we're going to make sure that we are supporting what they need and what they want. These men and women, every night, they leave their families. They say goodnight to them, they step out into the dark to do dangerous work. And they need to have leaders who are going to support them and have their back, and I intend to be there.
You're governor in less than a week. Yes. What are your top 3 priorities when you get there?
Top 3 priorities, number 1 is jobs. We have to turn the economy around here in the state of Missouri. People in the state of Missouri are hurting. We can though, build a thriving and prosperous economy here in the state of Missouri. Number 2, we have to have safer streets here. You know, we've got a situation now in the state of Missouri, and sometimes here in Kansas City, where grandparents don't feel like they can let their grandkids go out and play. We have to make sure that every parent, every grandparent knows that they can let their kids go out and play. And number 3 is better schools. We need educational opportunity for every kid in the state of Missouri so that they know that the American dream applies to them. In order to make those things happen, more jobs and higher pay, safer streets and better schools, we're also going to have to shake up Jefferson City. We're going to have to take on the political class and the insiders and the lobbyists and let them know the people are now in charge. People voted for us to take Missouri in a new direction, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Talk about stadiums a little bit. About reducing crime. What are some of the specific things, like in a city like Kansas City, that you hope to implement that might trickle down and cut back? We've got a rising homicide rate here, and it's been a big issue to cover a lot.
We have a major challenge here in Kansas City. In fact, we have a major challenge in the state of Missouri. You know, right now in Missouri, you look at the most recent FBI crime statistics. 3 of the most violent 11 cities in America are right here in Missouri. St. Louis is number 1 per capita. Kansas City is number 10. Springfield, Missouri is number 11. Now, when you talk to the FBI and you talk to criminologists about why this is happening, they point to something called the freeze effect. And one of the things that they've said is that, 1, it's harder for our police officers to go out and proactively police because they need to know that they've got leaders who have their back. And 2, it's become harder to recruit police officers. It's one of the very specific reasons why I spent time today with our recruits here in Kansas City. It's also why I spent time with the recruits who are joining the Missouri State Highway Patrol. We want to let these young men and women know that when they join the profession of law enforcement, we honor that choice and we're going to support them.
Governor-Elect, what I'm curious about is 2 things. First of all, why would not police officers be supported if it was local control? You don't have to support that speech. I think during your speech, I believe you said, I want to misquote you, the town is set on fire. Ferguson is set on fire. Is it not a bit of an overstatement?
Did you see the news?
I was there, sir, twice.
There were fires.
Not the whole town.
Look, what happened in Ferguson was a national embarrassment. It was a national embarrassment. And it was an embarrassment because we had a tragedy which was a loss of life. But that because of the failure of our career politicians, that loss of life, that tragedy, really turned into a disaster. And it's been affecting law enforcement organizations all over the state of Missouri. And that's why it's important to come out from the very beginning and let our law enforcement officers know that we're going to support them. And that's why we're here today.
We're talking about some stadiums now.
I just want to make sure we get that. Yes.
Governor-Elect, there are communities of color who, when they hear you say that you have police officers back, they may feel like it means you don't have theirs. What do you say to that?
Well, you said we want to support all Missourians, and it's one of the reasons why I was saying today, and it's so important for us to understand. I said today, safety and security is not just the absence of violence, it's something that we build. And we build that on a bedrock of understanding by actually reaching out and working with people. And again, not only was I here working out with our law enforcement officers, but also the other day I was out on some of the most violent streets of Missouri, walking those streets with some of our faith leaders, talking with people on the streets to let them know that we care about them. We care about all the people of the state of Missouri. And the fact is, this crisis is often affecting most severely some of the poorest and most disadvantaged people in the state of Missouri. They're the ones who are counting on us to get this right. And we want to let everybody know that as governor, I'm going to serve and support all Missourians. Everyone deserves that kind of support.
It isn't the Ferguson. In fact, there have been violent crime problems in St. Louis and Kansas City for a quarter century. How can you blame it on Ferguson?
The fact is, yes, there have been problems with crime before, but again, if you look at the work that criminologists are doing, if you look at the FBI's own analysis, one of the things that they point to, and it's not just in Missouri, but around the country, they point to something called the Ferguson effect. And what they've identified very specifically is that we need to have the opportunity for our law enforcement officers to go out and to proactively police, knowing that they have leaders who are going to have their back. The second thing that they've identified very specifically, and you see this not just in Kansas City, you see it in St. Louis, you see it in Springfield, you see it throughout the state of Missouri, is that it's become harder for our law enforcement organizations to recruit people into law enforcement. And they point specifically to what happened in Ferguson. Young men and women, when they make a decision to join law enforcement, they're doing so recognizing that they're putting their lives on the line for all of us. And they need to know that they've got a governor who's going to support them. And that's why I came here to be with them today.
Governor, do you have any details on educational savings accounts? I've heard that mentioned a couple times. Do you have any plans on that yet, or any details?
We'll be happy to roll our entire education platform. You'll be hearing more details about that and our economic development plans in the State of the State address. Thank you very much.
Right to work. Just a little bit of concern about that. Where you stand, what your plan is.
Our plan is to make sure that we've got more jobs and higher pay for the people in Missouri. And the facts are, when you look around at our other Midwestern states, look at Indiana, look at Michigan, they're leading the country now in new factory jobs. I'm committed to making sure that we build a thriving and prosperous economy here in the state of Missouri, and making sure that people are able to work, that they have the freedom to work in any place where they desire without being forced to pay dues to a political organization that they might disagree with is an important part of that agenda.
Were you gassed after the election? Guys, could you just tell us quickly what you gassed after the election? After the exercise?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Could you just tell us what you gassed after the exercise?
It was hard work. We were sweating. Everybody was putting in a lot of hard work. And
But you
it was a good
made
time.
it through.
I did. I made it through, but I really respect those guys. There's a lot of work. Thanks, guys.
Given any thought for stadium funding in Kansas City?
We're going to have this head out. Thanks again. Appreciate your time. Guys, thanks for making the time. Hey, thanks.